Okay, let's go through the muscles of the cat then. These will be the muscles that you guys will be responsible for and the movements. Now, many of these muscles have more than one movement, but I give you guys just one to try and keep it as simple as possible. We start up here, and what I'll be doing is putting the pin where I probably will put the pin for the test. So if you see the pin in the side of the neck over here, it can only be one muscle, and that'll be the sternocleidomastoid, and the movement for that is to rotate head. Then, if we move into the chest area here, what happens is you will look for three chest muscles. There's one way up at the top. The one way up at the top is by the clavicle, so that'll be called the clavobrachialis. If you go down about an inch, then you'll find the top one, which is called the pectoralis major. And if you go down another inch from there, you will see that that will be the pectoralis minor. So clavobrachialis, pectoralis major, and pectoralis minor. They all do the same movement. What they do is they adduct the humerus, adduct the humerus. In this case, all of the chest muscles have been torn, but you can see them. Clavobrachialis, pectoralis major, and pectoralis minor. A couple others that you will see in this chest area, or the front area of the cat, is if we go to the side, right in the waist, that'll be the external obliques. They are on the side of the body, and the movement that we have given for that one is that they rotate the upper body. If you look in the front, where you guys would call your abs, you will see this white film. The pin will be somewhere in the white film, and these will be the rectus abdominis muscles. And the rectus abdominis muscles will do crunches, but the movement will be flexing the upper body. One other thing to identify in this front area is a line that goes all the way from the very bottom all the way up through the chest, and that is a tendon. That tendon is called the linea alba. So if you see it, the question will not say, name this muscle. The question will say, name this tendon, and that will be the linea alba. Okay, let's go to the back side of the cat and take a look at some of the muscles here. What we will do is take a look at a lot of the muscles that are on the back side that do not follow what you had for your notes, because they went out of order a little bit, and I'm going to do all the back ones together. So to begin with, this sheet of muscle just underneath the arm, which goes here and all the way down, that is the latissimus dorsi. The latissimus dorsi would be to depress the humerus, and that is to pull the humerus down. But the movement, remember to use anatomical movements, and don't say pull down, don't say turns or pivots. Use a movement that is there, which is depress the humerus. Another one that you would have, if it is right in the shoulder blade of the cat, this is a very big muscle that's along the back here, and that is called the trapezius. I give you guys two different movements for that one. One is to elevate the scapula or the shoulders, and the other one is to hyperextend the head. You can use either one. You do not need to put both. One movement is fine for all of them. Another one that you will find, I will put the pin right in the middle in the back of the neck, and that one is the muscle called the levator scapulae. Levator scapulae, and if you guys listen to the name of it, it should give you what exactly it does. Levator meaning to elevate, scapula meaning scapula. So it elevates the scapula. Going down near the tail here, there is a ridge of bone that goes right here, and there's a muscle below it and a muscle above it. If the muscle is below, close to the tail, that'll be the gluteus maximus muscle. If what happens is it seems to be up about an inch, that will be the gluteus medius muscle. So these are the two gluteus muscles right next to the tail. One that most often people get wrong is the movement, because they can't figure out what the gluteus muscles do. The answer is extend femur or extend thigh. So it moves the entire lower limb. Other muscles that you might see on here, if the cat is on its stomach, would be right here. And that's where you would get a shot if you went to the doctor. This muscle right here would be the deltoid. And the deltoid abducts, that's AB, abducts the humerus. Going on to the forearm, if the cat is on the stomach, let's take a look at the 5 muscles that go along the outside of the forearm here. At the very top, this is a good point to start. This is a muscle that does not flex or extend. This is the brachioradialis, and the brachioradialis, it rotates the forearm. The next one down is the extensor carpi radialis. Extensor carpi radialis. Extensor carpi means extends wrist. The next one down would be the extensor digitorum communis. And extensor digitorum means extends fingers. The next one down is the extensor digitorum lateralis, and it also extends the fingers. And at the very bottom is the extensor carpi ulnaris, and it says extensor carpi, so that is extends wrist again. The last couple of muscles that we will take a look at that might be on the backside will be some of these of the calf and the hamstrings. So all of you guys have a muscle which is cut on the backside, this very big muscle. That happens to be the biceps femoris. Biceps because it has 2 points of attachment, femoris because it's by the femur. The biceps femoris is one of your hamstrings. Below it are the other 2 hamstrings. There is a lower one, which is called the semitendinosus, and an upper one, which is called the semimembranosus. So the 3 hamstrings are the biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. They all flex the leg. Flex leg is the answer. Above the biceps femoris is this large thigh muscle, which is one of your quads. That happens to be called the vastus lateralis. The vastus lateralis is one of the quads, and the movement for that will be extend leg. Down into the calf. This one has a large calf muscle and a flat calf muscle right underneath it, the way that they all should look. The large calf muscle is called the gastrocnemius, and the one underneath it is called the soleus. This is a calf muscle, and this is a calf muscle. They are both attached to the Achilles tendon, and the movement is dorsiflexion, standing on your tiptoes. So gastrocnemius, soleus, and then there's a skinny one right here along the side of the outside of the shin. This is called the peroneus longus. And the peroneus longus everts the foot. So that will be the movement that we will have for that. And the last one that's possible on the back side here would be this large muscle right here, which is in front of the shin, which is called the tibialis anterior. And the tibialis anterior in the front of the tibia, that will be dorsiflexion. Okay, let's go back to the front side of the cat, and we will do the muscles of the inner arm here. There are things to be able to use as guideposts as you're doing it. 2 things when you're doing this is at the very top of the arm, that is the brachioradialis again, which we saw on the extensors. The other one is to take a look at the shiny one. The shiny one's right in the middle. That is the palmaris longus. So it goes brachioradialis. The one next to the brachioradialis is the flexor carpi radialis, flexes wrist. The shiny one is called the palmaris longus, flexes wrist. And the one on the bottom is called the flexor carpi ulnaris, and it also flexes wrist. So the brachioradialis rotates the wrist, and all 3 of these, the flexor carpi radialis, the palmaris longus, and the flexor carpi ulnaris, all flex the wrist. So that is the ones that make up this. Just above there onto the humerus, the one on the top of the humerus is called the biceps brachii. And the biceps brachii flexes the forearm, and below the biceps brachii is the triceps brachii. And the triceps brachii extends the forearm. So biceps brachii flexes the forearm, triceps brachii extends the forearm. onto the inner thigh that we have here. If we take a look at this, on the inner thigh, you will see that there is a separation, and there's a muscle on the top and there is a muscle on the bottom. This large, thin muscle, that's how thin this muscle is, that is called the sartorius. The one on the upper portion of the inner thigh is the sartorius, and it does two movements. It flexes the femur and medially rotates the leg. Flexes the femur and medially rotates the leg. The one below it here is the gracilis. And the gracilis is one of the large groin muscles, and the groin muscles are ones that actually will pull your thigh in towards the center, or adduct. So it's adduct femur. So on top is the sartorius, which will flex the femur and medially rotate leg. On the bottom is the gracilis, which will adduct the femur. Again, we saw this one before. Here is the tibialis anterior. Here is the gastrocnemius. But on the inside of the shin, there is one called the flexor digitorum longus, a skinny muscle right along the inside of the shin, and it is called the flexor digitorum longus, which flexes the toes. And one muscle that you'll have to do pretty much just by location is a tough one, which is right here. These are the gluteus muscles. Here is the biceps femoris, which was not cut, and a muscle which would be right on the point of the hip over here, which you would have to do just by location, is called the tensor fasciolata. And for the tensor fasciolata, what it does is it abducts the femur, abducts or pulls it away. And that one, you can't really see the muscle, you have to just go by position. And just to reiterate, on the back of the cat, here on either of the scapulas would be what is called the trapezius muscle. And the trapezius muscle, you can put one of two movements. You can either put that it elevates the scapula or that it hyperextends the head. And that should take you through all the muscles that you can see. And these are the places that the pins will be located for the test.